your pamphlet is disrupting innovation. LTL transit under FDA GDP compliance for pharma products. And I ask you, you're all pharmaceutical logistics professionals, have you ever thought you would say LTL and compliance in the same sentence? So that is the challenge for reducing costs and improving reliability in your network. So we no longer are dependent on the truck for that compliance and reliability. We can be dependent on a container, and that's where our product fits in this niche. I won't belabor the strengths and weaknesses and the problems. This conference is all about some of the problems and how we address the problems, but a few are very important to you and your operations. Reliability of current methods is often questionable, of course, and particularly passive pallet type solutions can be not only time consuming to assemble and prepare, but they're also very limited and costly and environmentally insensitive, of course. One of the beauties of what we do also includes monitoring, and we'll talk a bit about that. So you are familiar with passive refrigeration methods for sure. The use of PCMs and other type of ice packs for refrigeration in transit. There are advantages to using active solutions. The cold box, our company, produces an active solution, meaning we operate autonomously on battery power, and we monitor our systems 24/7 and provide much better reliability through that tracking and monitoring, as well as through the way the system operates. And I'll get to those details in a moment. So the advantages include reliability, cost savings. We have a customer, for instance, in the States who did a test. They used a passive pallet system, and then they were testing our system, which is active. They determined that it took about 2 hours to assemble a pallet system. It took them 2 minutes to load the cold box. So the active solution is prepared, ready to go. You forklift your product into it, and it's ready. So time in your warehouse and in your processes is very important. I mentioned environmentally positive. There's no waste, no harmful emissions in an active system. Only warm air is created. And of course, the most important thing for your compliance purposes is tracking and monitoring. And in our systems, we provide online, current. Each unit, as I'll show you, is GPS monitored as well as cell signal monitored. So online, you can track your shipments 24/7 in 5-minute intervals. And of course, at the end of that, a report can be produced of that. So let me tell you a little bit more about our active solution. The hotter the day, the shorter the time frame. But a minimum of 2 to 3 days, even at -20°C, can be accomplished even in the ambience in India. As I mentioned, we monitor both location and temperature 24/7. All that information is available to you online through a simple web interface. And also we monitor in our central headquarters, we monitor every shipment 24/7 as well. So if that's a burden that you like for us to take care of, that's all part of what we do, is the monitoring function as well. And maybe as important to differentiate our product is that it's rugged. Our product does not compete in the air space. Let me clarify that. We're not an air cargo box. We are an over-the-road box. So most critical for that is that we're rugged, that we are forklift sensitive. So our biggest enemy over the years has been the forklift driver. So we have designed the cold box to not only be tough, but maneuverable and easy to manage. So for what that's worth, it is designed for over the road, so it's not a thin-skinned container. It's a very thick, robust container. As I said, it's easy to manage. These photos give you some sense of how we manage with either a forklift or a internal pallet jack. Let me talk about this before I move to maneuverability. Our container is not a one temperature solves all container. It is thermostat driven, so 1.68 meters of usable space, that's about 60 cubic feet of usable space, so a pallet about 48 inches tall fits easily into our container. Now back to easy to manage. You can see with a forklift or pallet jack, it's very easy to manage. In the United States, LTL is a little bit different aspect because we have a very mature network of LTL carriers. So this is an example on this photo of how our container will ride in a dry truck. So you can do mixed loads. You can have multiple cold boxes at different temperatures on the same truck. You can mix loads for dry freight as well as refrigerated freight, and that's part of the economics justification for our units. For compliance purposes, monitoring is central. Monitoring and reporting is central to your requirements and your needs and your regulatory requirements. Our units have a monitoring device that includes a cellular signal as well as a GPS, so we know the location. We know the location of your cargo, and we know the temperature in the cargo, and we know the battery health in the cargo. So we track the most critical aspects of the shipment that are important to you, and we provide a report, which is called a TIMS report, that meets all of the regulatory requirements. Regulatory pharmaceutical requirements, I don't have to educate this crowd, but our box is capable of meeting all of those requirements and then some, and we feel like compared to a passive solution, the live monitoring is a critical differentiator for these compliance requirements. The value proposition for active temperature control, cost savings is not always at the top of the list, but it is an advantage. The ease of use is critical for time and cost as well. Reliability, regulatory compliance, tracking and monitoring assurance, as well as environmental sensitivity are part of our value proposition. Applications are numerous. Not only do we serve the pharmaceutical markets, we serve the chemical markets. We serve genetics, medical devices. Our customers range from distributors to trucking companies to pharmaceutical companies and 3PLs. We have a fit in all of those channels. Just a couple of case studies, and then I'll be happy to answer your questions. The first is a company called Kenco. This is the company. They're a pharmaceutical distributor located in the southeastern United States. Simple proposition. They receive bulk shipments of pharmaceuticals into their warehouse, and they distribute out to they bring product into the states, into their global entries, and they have distribution issues as well. They'll rent a single 53-foot reefer truck to move one pallet of pharmaceutical. SciEx is a division of Beckman Coulter. You may know the company. Their issue is distributing reagents. They're a genomics and biological producer. They make equipment, but they also make the reagents that go with that are used in experimentation and laboratory work. They were sending to their Dallas distribution from San Diego. They would send each week 2 dedicated reefer trucks for 2 pallets of product. They had one shipment that was at -20 C, one shipment that was at 5 C. They would send 2 dedicated reefer trucks. Today, they use 2 of our boxes at different temperatures, and they send it by a LTL carrier. The cost savings have been phenomenal for them, and the reliability of distributing their product went up dramatically as well. So I hope I didn't move too fast. I am happy to take your questions about our product, and we'll also welcome you at our stall. We have a stall inside, and we have 2 cold boxes for demonstration, so we'd be happy to walk you through the specifics and show you the container live and in person. Control the container for that period of time. So moving it about the country would be your responsibility to bring it to and fro. Now, a long-term objective would be to establish depots in the country, and that's what we do in the United States. Frankly, we have 15 warehouse depots. So we do one-way trips that we also bundle transportation through some partners. So you can do a cross-country trip and deposit the box at the nearest depot to your destination. But in India, the networks for doing that are not as well established. So our rental will be on a monthly basis, and the transportation companies will manage the movement of the boxes. Yes, we have done third-party evaluation that is available for perusal by customers. An IQ and OQ have been established, and very favorably as well. Yes. No, smaller boxes are not currently available. We have one size, which is just the pallet size that's 48 inches tall. In the future, perhaps other sizes. We get more questions about a larger unit than we do about smaller, but that's where we are today. Now, as far as packing and loading, there's no packing requirement. If you have your pallet prepared, you'll want to wrap it generally, but inside the cold box are straps that are built in, so you can strap your cargo any way you like to secure it inside the box. But it's a generally pretty tight fit anyway, so there's no additional packing required. The cold box maintains the temperature that's required for your shipment with no additional thermal protection whatsoever. That's all you would need is just a corrugated box is adequate. And we move drums, we move plastic containers. The packing is not important to the use of the box. It'd be more important to your preparation for the trip. Right now we're early in the market here, so we don't have the inventory to supply on a single trip consignment. That will perhaps be a future application for us. But right now demand is for distributors and transportation companies to build their own fleet of boxes to keep in their own networks. Yes, I understand, and our principal customers will likely be the logistics provider. So they will rent the box from us on a monthly basis, and they can consign it to you from their inventory. So through your provider or through a provider, you may be able to do a single consignment. Yes. Thank you very much.